All right, what's up, guys? I'm Eric Lloyd with Oregon Risk Management Solutions, and we're back for episode 8 of What Not to Do. We're going to be watching some safety fails. We're going to be watching some workplace mishaps. We're going to be maybe laughing a little bit as we go. We're going to be learning about what went wrong and what we could do different. I learned recently that some of you guys are watching these for your weekly safety meetings, which I think is awesome. You know who I'm talking about. So hopefully it's a little bit educational for you here as well. With that, let's go into our first video and see what producer Dakota has for us this time. All right, so we got a video, man unloads tractor from burning truck. That's no good. So yeah, no, that's a fire. As our partner Kyle likes to say, that's a fire.
That is a fire.
What's he trying to dump on it? It's like emptying a soda can or something. He needs a fire extinguisher. Wonder what the heck he can, whoa, it's going, holy cow. He's just kind of standing back and watching. There goes the fuel tank. And now he says, but I really like that tractor, so I'm going to try and save it. He's going back and forth. Oh my gosh. I guess he's staying calm at least. Taking his time. Where's his roll bar too? What the heck? He's just going to bomb it off the back of the trailer. Dang. Wow. Okay. Good find, producer Dakota. Okay, a couple thoughts. One of the things I always say about fire extinguishers is that fire extinguishers are for keeping small fires small. We got to have them where we can get to them quickly, where we can get to them immediately. Because if he'd had one in his cab when he pulled over to stop and he was out there dinking around with whatever that was he was dumping on it, if he'd had a good, appropriately sized, high quality fire extinguisher, he probably could have just put that fire out right then and there. By the time he went off to go look for other stuff, now the truck's engulfed. No way you're going to be able to put out a fire of that size with anything portable that we could realistically have in our trucks. Next thing that I would always say is that, you know what? He's hopefully got insurance on that truck, and he's hopefully got insurance on that trailer and that tractor and everything around us. We can replace our equipment, we can replace our buildings, we can replace our crops, we can replace anything we need to except for ourselves and our people, right? And once we get to a point where that truck is engulfed, boy, I'd sure be leaning more towards calling the fire department, keeping a safe distance and just letting that burn rather than putting ourselves in harm's way, trying to rescue the tractor. People get a little bit silly in the face of a fire sometimes and take risks, and I'd sure worry about him, you know, getting distracted, maybe even just unrelated to the fire. He gets the tractor off uneven and it tips over or something like that. I made the joke, where's his roll bar? But if he managed to knock that thing over on himself while he was trying to drop it off the trailer, that's the potential for a real bad day. So all around, sure would have loved to have seen him just use a good fire extinguisher to put that thing out right away. Point at which it gets away from him, probably should just let it burn. That's our first video. Let's go on to our next one. Let's see what else we got. All right, so we're taking a big bulk bag and we're dropping it down on one of these spikes that puts an opening gate in the bottom. Spilling a little bit of fertilizer, but that's okay. Picking it up with this, oh my gosh. Picking it up with the tractor and then standing underneath it. Okay, some of you that are probably watching this know that this is just like one of my big bugaboos. Those super sacks are scary. Those things weigh like 2,000 pounds. And so anytime we're lifting that up in the air and we have to get up underneath that thing, we're putting ourselves majorly in harm's way. Another thing that we say a lot when we're talking about equipment training, forklifts and stuff, is that hydraulics hate us and they want to kill us. And they will do it if they get the chance, right? And if we're underneath something that we're relying on that tractor's hydraulics holding it up in the air, the hose bursts, somebody bumps a lever, something gives out, that can come dropping down in a hurry. If you ever want a laugh, you can get on YouTube and search for like hydraulic fails, and there's some pretty scary ones all over on there. So we never want to put ourselves underneath something that's held up by hydraulics like that. But the sacks themselves, we've seen tons of cases where the straps just tear and the bag gives out. I personally know of somebody that got hit by one of those here recently. He walked away from it with just bumps and bruises, but I mean, if that drops on you, you're toast. So what do you do about that? I have a client that came up with an awesome solution for that, which basically was to build a frame that they could rest the sack on anytime that they need to get up underneath it to open it up, to close it, to weigh anything out that's coming from it. That might be an option. Maybe we could rest that sack on the corner of the truck, but holy cow, let's not ever get underneath those, because that's just a disaster waiting to happen. All right, this one's no good. We got, dude almost got sucked into the spinning lathe machine. Man, those things are scary. Whoa! Got pulled right over the top, and I hope it ripped his coveralls off or something. I want to watch that one again. But got up and walked away. There's sure a lot of those videos circulating where the guy doesn't get up and walk away as well. Those rotating shafts like that are horrifying. We've talked a lot in our trainings and classes about like PTO shafts on implements connected to tractors and stuff. And like a given point on a PTO shaft when it's moving at speed is traveling like 9 feet per second. So a 6 foot tall me is getting wrapped around that thing in 2/3 of a second. Before you even know what's happening to you, you're wrapped around it, you're losing limbs or losing your life, right? And I would think that a lathe machine like that might be moving even faster than that even. So definitely want to respect that. Definitely need to be thinking about keeping a safe distance. If we have to be in the vicinity because of what we're doing with the equipment, we're working with the machine that's on the lathe. Always, of course, watching for loose fitting clothing, sweatshirt strings. People with long hair have gotten caught in those things, those types of things. It drives me nuts seeing people with big baggy safety vests. Oh, I'm high vis, so I must be safe, right? But if that vest is flapping around where it can get you caught in equipment like that, that's a recipe for disaster as well. So, if we've got to be in and around those things, watching to make sure that we don't have anything to get snagged. But man, our best bet is to just maintain that safe distance. Set up lines, set up a perimeter, put a guard over it so that there's no risk of being entangled in it. And of course, if we do have to get close to it, we got to bypass that line or take that guard off. That's where our lockout tagout procedures come into place. We're going to lock out the equipment so there's no risk of it re-energizing. That dude's pretty lucky. One more clip for episode 8. He's doing superhero stuff. Oh my gosh. Not tied off, not connected, just hanging on for dear life. Well, I'll tell you one thing, he's a lot tougher than me because I think I would have let go about a flight up there. Wow. So this is another one that we assume is in another country because of the setting and the text on the clip and whatnot, or maybe there aren't these regulatory agencies and things like that. But obviously not a very good idea, obviously not a very safe thing. He's not protected from falling with a harness or anything like that. He's just relying on his own hand strength to hold himself on there. I guess I'd ask the question of why is he doing that? Maybe he thinks it's fun. Okay, it's all well and good until an injury does occur. Maybe he thinks it's faster to get to the top. Okay, we could all be tempted to take shortcuts like that, but they don't, pay off in the long term if it leads to that injury or it leads to that fatality even, where now we can't go on to get our work done. So silly one to laugh at, definitely not a good idea. All right, that's everything that producer Dakota found for us for episode 8 of What Not to Do. We hope you guys are enjoying these. We hope you're continuing to watch them. I love hearing that people are using these for their team meetings, for training opportunities, maybe just getting a laugh out of it. Whatever it is, we hope you'll keep watching. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. Please share this on your social media, share it with your friends so more people can see it as well. Do make sure you check out our website, OregonRMS.com. Check out our fire extinguishers, check out our trauma kits, everything that we offer, everything that we do. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to see suggestions for future content, and we'll see you back here for episode 9.